Today is Are You OK Day, and we're being urged to connect and check in with each other. To help us do that, the Australians for Mental Health Executive Director, Chris Gambian, joins me live now. Chris, thanks so much for your time. Today is an important day in our calendar. How is Australia's mental health at the moment? Are we making improvements?
Well, good to be here with you, Laura, and I hope you're okay. Look, Are You OK Day is a wonderful opportunity for us to connect and reach out to other people. But, you know, it should be Are You OK Day every day. And for a long time now, overwhelmingly, Australians have been saying, no, actually, we're not okay. So my question is, what comes next? What is the thing that we're going to do collectively as a community to turn this around? Because we can have the cups of cake. We can have the pieces of cake, we can have the cups of tea, we can do the Facebook posts, we can do the LinkedIn posts, but if we're not prepared to ask ourselves some really tough, serious questions, then we're not really doing ourselves or the community a good service.
What about public policy, Chris? Because this isn't always up to governments, but money helps. Does the current crop get it?
Look, I don't think governments over generations have really understood the connection between mental health and wellbeing and the wellbeing overall of the Australian people. You know, we talk a lot about the economy, we talk a lot about national security and issues like that, but the kind of impact of mental health and wellbeing seems to get kind of lost in some of the big ticket discussions we're having. You know, if you don't have a safe place to sleep, if you don't know where you're going to go home tonight, then there's a pretty good chance your mental health is going to be pretty poor. If you're working in a toxic workplace where stress is everywhere, where people are being bullied, where maybe the job is insecure, then you're probably not going to have very good mental health. For our young people that are sort of, been living in this era of insecurity where their job prospects are tough, their prospects of being able to afford a house are tough, things are getting harder and harder, they're stuck in this sort of toxic social media loop, then we shouldn't be surprised then that people's mental health is not going great. And look, we can think about this as a personal thing. This is my problem. I need to solve it. Perhaps my friends and family will look after me. Yes, that's part of it. But another big part of it is as a community, governments, state, federal, local, all sides of politics saying, what are the drivers? What are the things that are causing these problems in the first place that maybe have nothing to do with mental health itself, but actually, when we get those right, we change the picture for everybody.
Okay, some advice today, because I think we're getting better at talking about this kind of thing, but what should we say to our friends? Even if we assume they're okay, how do you approach this, Chris?
Well, look, my saying for today is cupcakes are fine, but connection is way better. So connection, not cupcakes. We need to have real conversations. Yeah, it might start with, are you okay? But we really need to listen to people with a view to understanding people. I think oftentimes we jump to judgment. So today, let's work up our curiosity. Let's see how people are going and try to understand where they're coming from, because when we have that real conversation, when people feel like they're being seen and they're being listened to, that's when we can start to chart a path for real solutions. It needs to be much more than a photo op. It needs to be much more than a cupcake in the tea room. It needs to be about real relationships and real connection.